Hey everyone, welcome back. Icon here. Thanks so much for checking out another episode of Esports Analysis. Today, we're not actually breaking down game film. So in this one, I just wanted to go through my bracket, especially for like this first day, and just kind of tell you what I expect, what I think is going to happen, who I think is going to win, why they're going to win, all that stuff. So you have a little bit to go off of as you're watching these first day matchups. So we're not going to get all the way through the bracket, but we'll definitely get through day one. So as we go ahead and hop into this, I'm going to switch it over to the bracket, and you can see on the left-hand side, we have Group A. On the right-hand side, we have Group B. So very first matchup that we're going to be talking about is we're going to have Minnesota, and they are going to battle against Seattle. Now, I will say that this is just one of those matchups where I really do think that Minnesota is going to win, but I'm just waiting for Seattle to just come to life, right? It has to happen sooner or later. I think that they're way too talented. We'll see what happens with the addition of Pander and how he actually plays when it comes down to playing an actual tournament. So there's a little bit of an unknown there, right? The one thing that I will say is that the AR matchup there is just going to be insane because Octane is playing so well, and everybody knows the type of tournament that Minnesota has had from their AR position. So we'll see what ends up happening there. But if I had to pick, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to advance with the Rocker there. I just think that they're a little bit more balanced. I think that they've proven it. I think that the situation is not too big for them, and we haven't really seen that yet from Minnesota. So for the first matchup of day one, I'm going to go with the Rocker over the Surge. As we go back into Group A, after that, we have LAG. So the Battle of LA. We have LAG against Optic Gaming. And this is one where, again, this one's a little bit hard to pick, right? Just because of the fact that LAG has so many subs. And if you think about it, those subs can't really do worse than those that were already on LAG. So I'm not really sure where to go there. But again, I kind of have that same feeling with OGLA that they just have to have one of these tournaments they have to break out. They are way too talented, from Kenny to even JCap. I know a lot of people get on JCap for having like a 0.8, but the way that he has a 0.8 is so much different from a lot of other people's 0.8s that JCap, he's just been there. You just expect him to do fairly well. And then TJ and Dashy and the rest. I mean, Dashy, we'll see if he throws out the SMG roll a little bit, try to get a little bit more slaying power from that SMG roll. But I don't know. I'm feeling Optic there. So in terms of Group A, the first matchups there, I have Rocker over Seattle and then OGLA over LAG. After Group A, obviously, we want to go ahead and we want to jump into Group B. So first matchup of Group B. This is actually the first match of the day, but I put it second because it's Group B. But first matchup of the day, we have Atlanta going to battle against Florida. And all of a sudden, this isn't quite the matchup that we thought it would be, right? We thought that this would be a rematch of the finals as CDL Atlanta, and it's not quite shaping up to be that way because Pristini is having some personal issues. He didn't make the trip here. So Pristini, if you ever see this, I hope that things get better for you. Nobody likes to see somebody suffer like that. So Pristini, I hope that you get better. But I do think that even though Florida is so talented, I think that this is definitely going to be advantage towards Atlanta FaZe. So, I mean, they beat them 3-0 in the finals at Atlanta, and Florida was at full strength, right? Now they're not going to be. Not saying that Pristini can't be properly replaced, right? Who knows how his sub's going to end up doing. But with this one, I just feel like Atlanta, with the hot streak that they're coming off of and all the confidence that they have, it would be really hard to go against them. So the other side of this, again, man, there are some heavyweight hitters over here in Group B. We have Dallas against New York. And this is one where I'll go ahead and I'll just tell you that I think Dallas is going to win right away. So I don't know. It's just I have a feeling that this is going to be a quick 3-0 for Dallas. Although I have confidence in New York, I don't think that they're helpless. I just think they have to have everything click. we had attached on our podcast 2 weeks ago with Kingdom Soldier and I, and he said the biggest thing that they need to work on is just doing the same thing in and out, right? It really is. It just comes down to consistency for them. Like I told Attach when he was on, that very first weekend, one of the most dominant maps or matches that I saw was their win on that Hackney Yard domination. They just looked so good being able to completely control Atlanta in that map. And we just haven't really seen much of that after that. They have won some matches and some maps here and there, but I just don't see it coming against Empire right here. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pick Empire for the second matchup of Group B, and you can already start to see the matchup that's going to be coming from there, right? Atlanta versus Dallas for the winner of Group B. If that comes, that's going to be absolutely one of the most looked after, one of the most talked about matches of that first day. As we go ahead and move on here, it is then going to be the losers bracket. So it'll again be Florida and the losers of that second matchup against New York. So in this one, had there been a healthy Prestini who is there and in his true form, I really do think that he gives Florida just an adrenaline shot that they don't really have otherwise, because he plays so fast and so aggressive all the time. So since he's not going to be there, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take New York. So I think that New York is going to get an extra 10 points here. I think that's going to put them in a pretty decent position when we're talking about the overall standings there. But I just think the cohesiveness, even though Zero was subbed out, so even though they have a substitute in here, so there really is one substitute for each team, I just have a little bit more faith in New York in this matchup for some reason. I know taking Prestini out, so each team has had a sub here, but I just feel better about the fact that they didn't really lose their in-game leader, right? Prestini, you would probably say, is the veteran of that Florida team. He's also probably the heart and the soul of that Florida team. So I really do think losing them is going to hurt. Who knows if that ends up what happening, but that's just how I'm going to go here. That's what I'm feeling at the moment. New York over Florida to earn those 10 CDL points and make it to that losers bracket final. And then as we go ahead and move on here with our schedule, the next match after that one would be the winners bracket final for Group B. So as we're going down the line here, this is that major matchup. When we're talking about Atlanta versus Dallas, this is actually a really tough one to call. I don't think this is going to be a 3-0. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to pick Atlanta to win this one just because I feel like they're just playing better. I mean, they're playing better than everybody in the league, right? But I just haven't seen it from Hugh yet. I haven't seen it from Shotzi. They just haven't performed at the level we're expecting them to play at. And with that being said, Clayster and Crimsix have been playing out of their minds so far this year. So I'm not really worried about them at all. But what I am worried about is the SMG talent for Dallas versus the SMG talent for Atlanta. I just think that there's a pretty big discrepancy there. Who knows? Maybe this is an opportunity for Dallas to prove everybody wrong, right? You would figure that after a while, those young guns like Shotzi and Ilya, they're going to start performing, right? The more they put themselves in this scenario, in this situation of being at a big time tournament, the more normal it's going to become. So sooner or later, those guys are going to figure it out and they're going to step up and they're going to play the way that we all know that they can play. But I just don't see it happening yet. So I do think that Atlanta's going to end up winning this. And I just realized that I put them in the wrong spot. They should be going into the winners bracket, and then Dallas would end up going into that losers bracket file. I don't know why I messed that up, but that is what it is. So I think Atlanta's going to move on. They're going to end up being 2-0, and then I think Dallas is going to go ahead and they're going to slide down to that losers bracket final in Group B, and that'll set up a Dallas versus New York final there for whoever makes it out of that second bracket. Now, as we hop back over to Group A, I know we're kind of going back and forth a lot, but as we hop back over, the last matchup of that Saturday is just going to be that first losers bracket matchup. So we had Surge losing against Minnesota, and we had the Gorillas losing to OGLA. So this is what I'm thinking of. Now, is this what happens? Who knows? But this is just how I'm feeling at the moment. So the Surge versus Gorillas, I just don't really have confidence with the Gorillas right now with again, it's so early, right? We're only on our third match overall. And to already be substituting out 60% of your team, right? 3 of your 5 players you're switching. Who knows? It could end up being super beneficial. That's just not really how I'm feeling at the moment. First of all, I wouldn't be shocked to see Minnesota down here anyways, right? I wouldn't be shocked if Seattle went ahead and they beat Minnesota on that first day. I'm not calling that. So I do have a little bit more confidence in Seattle. So I do think that LAG is going to go 0-2. I think that Seattle is going to get 10 points there in that first losers bracket matchup on the left side of the bracket. And then they will await whoever the loser is between Rocker and OGLA in that second round. Now, as we move on here, if we were to go on to the Sunday, so the games on Sunday, that's when you would have this Group A winners bracket final. That's when you would have this Group A losers bracket final. And then that would go ahead and catapult us into the semifinals, which would then follow into the finals and after that. So since we aren't going to have that, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cut this video off right here because I just wanted it to be a day one prediction. I am going to do a live stream after all of the matches on Saturday night. So if you're new around here, if you're a sub to me, as soon as that last match is over, I'm going to hop on, I'm going to live stream. We can talk about everything that we saw. We can break down the matches. Maybe there's some surprises. Maybe there's some things we weren't quite expecting to happen that ended up happening. So make sure that after these matches are over, as soon as they're over, I'm going to go live. We can come in here, we can talk about them, and then the next day I will fix my bracket, I'll rearrange it, and then I'll rearrange it based on what actually happened, and then I'll make my predictions for day 2. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm thinking this is how it's going to go, but these teams are all so good and they're all so competitive that in the end, who really knows? So if this is your first time tuning into my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Every weekend, every tournament, I'm doing stuff like this. I drop daily uploads where I'm actually breaking down the matches so you guys can see the strategy that's involved and why one team beats another team. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you leave a like before you head on your way. If you have any comments whatsoever, put your predictions down below. If you disagree with something that I have, make sure you put a comment down below. I respond to everybody that comments on my videos, so I appreciate your input on that. And thank you guys so much. My growth has been crazy. We just went over 6,000 subscribers. When I started this, I was at like 2,500 subscribers. So I've grown basically 200% in the last like 90 days, and I'm so thankful. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I'm not going to ramble anymore. Good luck to all the teams competing on day 1. I hope you guys have a blast watching them, and I will catch you back here in about 12 hours for our day 1 recap stream. We'll see ya. Have a good night.